All right, now you put me under serious pressure. I don't like introducing people that are better than I am in the game. I suppose the introduction should be, I bumped into this guy many, many years ago. Somehow we were connecting in business, then heard about what he was doing. Then he heard about us setting up the Four Ways Community Chamber, came to visit us, took one look at it and said, listen, I can do 1,000 times better than this. Let me set up my own version of this chamber. And he became the driver of the Midrand Community Chamber of Commerce. And it's my pleasure to introduce a guy who's an expert in business strategy and helping people become expert in their particular field. So, Trevor, just show these people how you make me look like a fool in this game.
Difficult to do that, Trevor. Okay, so I did prepare a video and I put it on YouTube, but I've decided I'll just talk it out. And if you want to go check the video, it is on YouTube. So I just really want to share, kind of bring together a lot of the things that have already been said this morning, and not repeating what they're saying, but just add on and just to illustrate that the things that people have been saying are just elements into this big picture that we need to look at. So with what the world and all of us are going through right now, I thought it might be valuable to share with everybody and to put into perspective of where we are in our business and what can we do to keep building our businesses, and more importantly, how can we be able to capture our industry, and more so, what can you do to be able to become that expert in the industry? Now, it was really the fourth industrial revolution that sort of got me into this and got me thinking and looking how to change things in my business and how it's worked for me and how I can help others. So, you know, more people in the world today are very familiar with 4IR, and it's become one of the most spoken about things. And they know more about fourth industrial revolution than any of the preceding ones, or they even acknowledge that we are in the fourth industrial revolution. So the question I always like to ask is, how familiar are you with the first industrial revolution? Some people have never heard of it. They don't know what it is. The second industrial revolution. And then they moved on to the third industrial revolution. And some people don't even know that there were other revolutions. But this just illustrates that with the fourth industrial revolution, the immensity of this one and what it is doing and how it is doing, which is quite important. So a lot of people are asking, asking the question, how is the fourth industrial revolution going to really impact us and affect us? So I think one of the exciting things with COVID-19 is that what's happened is that this has thrust us into deeper into the fourth industrial revolution without us even realizing it and being aware. So as we are in this crisis right now, we all know that the world has changed. Okay, we've seen it. The way that we do things already now are very different, even if we're doing things at home. Even this forum is very different, never been done before. And the reality that we all know is that we're never going to go back to 2 months ago. Those days are gone. So we have to look at now, and we have to look at where we're going to be going down the line. So the fourth industrial revolution has now kicked in many ways into many companies already. And the companies, and even your company, if you wanted to survive, well, then you have to implement the elements of the fourth industrial revolution. Okay, if you're not prepared to do it, if you haven't done it, then you're not going to be part of it. So what's going to happen, so which we already know, this is old news, is that a lot of the jobs that we are accustomed to, that are going to disappear. So when the market opens and we allow to go back after lockdown, we will see that certain jobs are not needed anymore. Things have changed. More people are going to be working from home. So there's going to be this whole rift in the industry. And that's the bad news. But the good news is that a lot of the new industries are going to open, new opportunities are going to come about, as we've already seen with the surge of opportunists now making these masks and sanitizers. So this alone is another industry that's popped up because of the crisis. And it's really wonderful that people are taking the opportunity. And in very much the same way, there are going to be other opportunities that are going to spring up where people are going to be doing things a lot differently. And it's really this that I want to chat about today, to find out how the fourth industrial revolution is really going to affect us when we need to market ourselves. And that's a topic that hasn't really been discussed. So this is the area that if you do not pay attention to, and Scott is kind of alluded to that, and there are a lot of things that Scott said this morning that is so relevant and so real. But if we're not going to pay attention to it, the problem is that we're going to fall deeper and deeper into the exclusion of being able to participate in the marketplace. So how can you capture your industry, and what can you do to be able to become an expert? Because if you're not an expert today, you're going to have a bigger uphill. So if I mention the name Elon Musk, okay, we all know Elon Musk. I'm not going to ask you what he's famous for. We all know that. But when I ask that in a lot of courses that I do, people often say, well, he's an ex-South African and that's all that matters. Okay, so it doesn't matter what he does or how he does it. He's an ex-South African boy, so therefore he must be good. But Elon Musk is really better known for the electric car, the Tesla, his storage batteries, and then going into space. So if I had to ask you, which is the best running shoe? What is the best running shoe that you would think of? Anybody? For the runners, Dawn?
Nike, not that I'm a runner, but I do try. I think Nike. What would you say? Adidas? Reebok?
Okay. So Nike it is. Yeah, that is the most popular shoe at the moment. So the question here is, similarly, is the Tesla the best electric motor car on the road? I don't know. We don't really have them here in this country, but chances are maybe not. But it's certainly the most well-known, the most developed one in the market today. But then again, is Nike the best running shoe? Okay. So some people will agree and others won't. But the interesting thing is that both of these products, they are capturing their respective industries. And with that, they're in a position that they can double their price simply because they're so well known and because they perceive to be leaps ahead in their own respective industries. So if you're going to be walking around in Nike shoes or Nike clothing, people are going to look at you because you're walking in a brand. So how then did Elon Musk, how did Nike get to be in the position that they are in? So it isn't necessarily because they have the best products. Chances they haven't got the best products. Yeah, but it's because their marketing is so good, their marketing is so relevant that allows them to be able to be in that position. And even more so now, within the fourth industrial revolution, is that people's attitudes have changed and people's buying decisions have changed. And what we as entrepreneurs and business owners need to do is to click into that part of that wave that is now taking the industry and the marketplace by storm today. So even now that we are still in the middle of COVID-19, people still need product and goods. And it's not necessarily going to stop them from buying, but they're going to be more selective how they buy. So they're going to buy something that's perceived to have and to give value. Yeah, but also looking for something that's going to last. Yeah, so which means that they need to have good quality at the best possible price. And that is one of the things that the fourth industrial revolution is kicking in. So even if that quality and that price is above the nearest competitor, they will still go for yours if you're a lot more expensive. So again, talking about Nike now, I think let's just kind of look at where we are and how do people think a lot differently. So if you assume that the average running shoe is, I'm talking internationally now, is $100, yeah, but the top Nike shoe is the Air Max 270, and that's $140. So really, that's 40% more. But the best selling shoe in the United States right now, guess what? Is the Nike Air Max 270 at $140. So why would that be? So again, people have placed their trust and their faith into brands. So if it was me, I would rather spend $140 on a pair of running shoes, believing that it's going to give a better performance. Okay? That it's also going to last twice the amount of time. Okay? So which means then that that would be a bargain for me. So are the other shoes similar to Nike, made any differently to Nike? And have the competitors not copied what Nike has done? Okay, and they do that and they sell it at half the price of Nike. So that is really what's happening, because in our businesses, you'll come up with a good idea and people out there are going to copy what you do and they're going to try and improve it at a better price to cut you out. So if you haven't positioned yourself correctly, you're going to lose that business. Now, this where I believe that where the Chinese have done so well, and they've modeled themselves by copying top brands. They make it with the cheapest quality material and they sell them at half the price. And in that market, they're still very competitive in that particular industry. So it stands to reason that this copy made from cheaper material, in our minds, will never last as long as what a genuine Nike would, or even a Nike competitor. So I think we really have to thank the Chinese for making our decisions a lot easier when it comes to buying things. So the question here is, what if your product can be the best sought after product? What if you had to charge double for your product and still get people queuing to buy it? And this is where I'm going to, because everything I've spoken now is all about perceptions. And the perception is that if something is more expensive, it's a better quality. Yeah? And we know it may not be true, but we still have that perception. Yeah? So let's expand on that a little bit more, just to prove that point to you. So if we take a German engineered motor vehicle, okay, now it's no accident that 75% of these made in Germany are high-end luxury vehicles with a much higher price tag. Now, generally, they perceive to be quality vehicles. Okay? Very reliable, they last a lot longer than other vehicles. But is that really true? Are they really that reliable? So whilst we do see older, take example, Mercedes, we see a lot of old Mercedes still driving around on the road compared to, let's say, Toyota. Yeah. Now, in the 2020 reliability index, none of these German vehicles appear in the top 5, let alone Mercedes doesn't even appear in the top 16 of the most reliable cars in the world. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Okay, so our perception is that when you own a Mercedes or one of these luxury German vehicles, okay, you own in reliability, you own in the comfort, you own in safety, you own in quality, investment, etc., etc. Yeah, but whilst some of these features may be included in the vehicle, one of the things that reliability, as we've seen now, is not. Now, would you think Mercedes would be pretty worried about this? Not at all. They, through their clever marketing, they've allowed their customers to perceive that their vehicle is a quality vehicle. They make that perception. So now we already know that Mercedes is not the most reliable car on the road, but you ask any Merc owner, is it reliable? They say, of course it is. So if you go onto the Merc website, there's not one mention of the word quality. So they're not saying that their vehicle is not a quality vehicle. They're not marketing that. They're not advertising that. But now this is quite interesting because their model is selling not a quality vehicle, but they're selling a status vehicle. And that modeling, believe it or not, has placed them third as a bestseller in the United States during 2019. So again, you can see what perceptions are doing. So as we're talking about perceptions, these perceptions are attached to a product. And Scotty was saying this morning is that what about the individuals behind the product who also play such a very important part to build it and to grow it? So again, let's come on to Elon Musk. Okay. So I think that whatever he produces, people are going to follow him because he's got that reputation of being the master in his field. Now, although nobody's really asked me the question if I would like to go on a space flight, and if I did, would I go with NASA or would I go with Elon Musk? Yeah, I think I would personally choose Elon Musk. Now, I don't know too much about space engineering, but my perception and a lot of other people's perception is that one would be a little bit more safer with Elon Musk simply because he's so innovative. So if he's so successful in his field, what do we need to do to become the Elon Musks in our industry or the Bill Gates of today? Okay? And why would it be so important for you to be that master in your industry? So if we just have a look at this a little bit deeper. So it's really no secret that in today's environment, most companies are battling to get new business, especially now. And customers are not really interested in talking to us and buying as they did before. So in reality then, why should they be buying from us? And what is it going to take for them to even agree to make an appointment with us and with the perception of doing business with us? So it's not taken for granted that, even Scotty said, if you go on social media and you go on Facebook and you do all the Facebook ads, that business is going to come pouring in. It doesn't work like that anymore. So the market out there has many choices of service providers. And that choice of service provider is getting bigger and bigger. And especially now, with so many people being unemployed, that they're becoming entrepreneurs, which means then that our industries, we're getting so much more competition. So we have to be one step ahead. We've got to be better than all of them because these guys are going to come in, they've got nothing to lose. They'll have maybe the same quality that you can give. Maybe they give a better service, maybe not. It doesn't matter. But they can afford to come in at a cheaper rates than what yours is. And chances they might still get business. So they are a threat to us as well. So being the expert will help to prevent that, and people will still spend more money with you and choose you as their best service provider. So I know for myself that I don't, and Scotty also said it, that we don't want to just sit and market the whole day, which is what people are telling us to do. Now, so ideally, you would want to stop cold calling, stop marketing, or not market as much as aggressively as you do. But I would prefer my customers to find me and to cold call me. And that can be done. So the old way of prospecting, the old way of marketing is gone, as I said earlier. And the fourth industrial revolution has certainly seen to that. Now, there are changes all around that are taking place. And those changes are becoming so advanced that they're starting to even overtake our own expertise at an incredible rate, and forcing companies to lag behind in technology, in marketing, in customer service, and as a result, causing a lot of companies to become extinct. And we've seen that with big companies. So it doesn't matter if you're a huge corporate or an entrepreneur, the same will apply to us. So the time now for us to regroup is to boost our business, to raise our profile, to be seen as the expert. Trevor, did you want to say something?
I just want us, as soon as you're ready, we're going to wrap up and open up for open discussion.
Okay, so I've just got a little bit more, yeah? So to survive the fourth industrial revolution, there are two important factors that we must take into consideration in order to achieve that. So firstly, we need to be seen as the expert to be able to market ourselves and to position ourselves in the marketplace, or allow people to perceive us to be the expert. And like Mercedes have done, that is very important. So it's not if I claim I'm the expert, it's what others perceive of me. So being an expert, and this is what I really want to get across, that we can take this away with us, is that we need to position ourselves as the industry leader, a thought leader. So to do that, we've got to be seen at industry functions. We've got to go out and give talks. We've got to write articles. We've got to use social media so strategically that it will blow the competitor away. It will create that big gap between us and the competitor. And we need to let people know of our skill. So if we are the expert, what are we skilled at? So here we need to just write articles about our industry, write articles about our product, write articles about our business, what it is that we're doing. We must be heard. So we have to run webinars, podcasts. We've got to look for opportunity of being on radio and TV. And then you can mingle with the experts. But to be known in the industry by sharing tips, okay, or so-called secrets, have a book, okay, which gives you that credibility. So if you are able to go help other people in the industry, if you can share advice, if you can work closely with your competitors, and just being strategic is going to play a very important part. So we often say at the chambers that we don't have competitors, but we have collaborators, and that's where we need to be seen. Okay, and the second step now is to have the skills of the fourth industrial revolution. And to do this, we have to implement the latest technology in all elements. If it's marketing, if you're going to go and give a talk, have the latest of gadgets. You've got to be seen with the best technology. Find out what your competitors are doing and see what you can do to do it better, if you can do it faster, if you can be a lot more effective. And we need to work on our people skills. So we need to be more creative. Experts are creative. Thought leaders are creative. They've got intuition. Their entrepreneur skills are good. They've got the initiative to take things and to lead from the front, to get the humans to do what humans do best and to get the machines to do what they do best. So to be the expert will get more people looking for you, which means that you'll get more quality customers, which is what we want. And that's what we should be getting today. And the opportunity of building long-lasting relationships, because that's what creates and allows people to come to you the whole time. And lastly, just by being recognized by our competitors, and that's very important. If they can perceive you as the expert and the leader in the field, they will start recommending you, because what you're doing is that they will automatically put you on a higher platform, and you can then start making changes in your industry and boost your industry to be the thought leader. And all this happens when you position at number one, allowing the marketplace to know you as the voice of authority. And so really, I just hope then that you were able, that this will help you, and that you can take some of these things away to start making a difference in your business today. And I'm around. If you want to get in touch, if I can help you, if I can share ideas with you, that's what I'd like to do. So thank you for listening, and I hope that we see you as experts in your field. Are there any questions, any comments?
I better unmute myself here, and while we're waiting for any other comments, my apologies. I needed to clean my glasses here. I chipped in there 10 minutes early, Trevor, so my apologies on there. But what I want you to consider, and if anyone else wants to ask questions, please just pop up and put your hand up, or just jump in. I want you to consider that this little brand here got off the ground at the beginning of lockdown and has got to this particular point, and how you would short circuit the creation of an expert brand around this virtual trade fair, because after all, you're involved with this in some way or other. You are connected. So think about that. But please, if anyone else wants to come in and just ask Trevor a question, I don't want to hog the discussion forum. There's Guy.
Trevor, my brother, how are you going? Good, good.
Good, and you, Guy? Good to see you.
A quick one. Whether like you guys, Trevor, and that have got a good brand, Virtual Trade Fair Africa, to put out that you're the expert in the market, what sort of platforms would you use now, and what would be the one fundamental message if you had to put it out in one paragraph? And it's not supposed to be a curveball.
No, not at all. Okay, and a nice question, that, Guy, is because you can't go out and tell people you're the expert. Okay, others have got to tell you, but you have to have backup. So you have to have an award, for instance, from the industry, but not just any award. You have to have quite a serious one. You need to be seen out there. So you need to have a book. And a book, I can tell you right now, it doesn't make money for you, but boy, does that give you credibility. I've done 3 books now already. My first one, I think I made R1 million in those days just out of that book and the business I got from it. Plus it gives you credibility in the marketplace by having articles, and that just shares how much you know of the industry, or throwing curveballs into the industry, get people to think. And one can do it in a short space of time. It doesn't have to take long to do, but we've got to be there as the expert. It has to happen.
Thank you.
And just talking about industry awards and the writing of books, I think you've got to blow your own trumpet a little bit here, Trevor. I was fortunate enough to be around when you were announced as an award winner at the Speakers Association. Tell us a little bit more about that. And then I'd also like you to tell us about the book that you wrote during lockdown.
Yeah, so the award that I got from the speakers was the Hall of Fame. And I think that's quite huge, because it's your competitors, literally, as a speaker and as a trainer, they gave me that award. So they're really saying that you're doing something that's right. So that's something huge. And that's why I say what you need to do is to get an award that has got some substance in your industry that people can look up to. And even with that award, I mean, just last night, I was just mentioned again to 100 people. So your name keeps popping up. So, and again, just to answer Guy, it's not what I'm telling everybody, it's what others are saying about me. And yeah, so in lockdown, I just wrote a book. One of the courses I'm doing is Master of Ceremonies. And there aren't many books out about that. And I thought it would just be nice, because I'm taking that course online, which is, as I think, is the only one in the world. And we're doing quite a good job on that. And hopefully next week it's going to be going live. And I just wrote a complete Master Ceremonies book. It's like a Bible. And so that's going to also take the world by storm. So I hope. And that I wrote during lockdown, yeah.
So I threw you a little pitch. I'm not even going to call it a curveball because I want you to hit the ball out the park. And that is, so in short space of time, we created this little virtual trade Fair.africa. You've seen it come through from nothing in, you saw the 21-day start and then a couple of weeks and then getting off the ground here. Where to from here? How does the expert in creating experts advise us to make this brand? Is it ready to be recognized as an expert brand, or what should we do?
Okay, so first thing, one thing that you shouldn't do is stop it. Okay, because that then is going to tell you and tell people that it wasn't working. So the things that work, keep going over and over again. So if you're good at something, you keep building on that and look for ways of how can you do this better than what you've done now. Have a look at what other trade fairs are doing virtually and how can you better them? And more importantly, how can you attract more people? So even I think with this, you're going to get a lot of people talking about it. And I think you just have to advertise it and just tell, you know, how great it was, and you had this peak and you had that, and this is what happened, and the benefit that people can get, because now you need to just attract the numbers. You need to get a lot more people coming through to make it an ongoing event.
Great. So I think you need to be writing a little PR piece because you finished your book now and talking about how great your experience was on virtual trade Fair.africa. And Trevor, I've asked a couple of the previous speakers, what has surprised you here? Or are you pleasantly surprised? Or just give us your first impression of the takeoff of this today.
I am very impressed. And I was on this morning and just looking at the number of people that have logged in. I think that's wonderful because I think really now we've got, what, 19, 20 people. And so it's sort of been kind of constant the whole day, which is good. And the next one is maybe tomorrow, it's going to be bigger. And I just think it's so nice that you've got so many people who are hanging in the whole day, coming in and out, but they're still there. And I think that's great. And at the level of speakers, the opportunity, it's a wonderful showcase. I think it's great.
Great. And I believe, Motlopila, I didn't see you with your hand up. You've got a question to ask? Go ahead, please. Motlopila? And
yeah, thanks very much. I think I froze a bit there. I want to contribute and to the point of 2 points. The one on social media, that I'm kind of on a journey to learn, you know, because when we started with social media, the attitude was to just sell, you know, just post, I'm selling this, etc. But we've come to learn that it's also relational. It's a, you know, it's a medium where you network, and like we've learned, you don't just meet a stranger and start selling to them, but you establish relationships. So I'm agreeing with what Trevor is saying about, you know, just the use of social media. But I think it's also important for us to understand how to leverage social media. I mean, there's so many, you know, just to look at the stats, etc., of how many people are on social media and the people that you're targeting, you know. So I found that very, very useful in my journey. And in terms of a book, I also wrote a book last year, and it's been such an interesting experience. I'm speaking tomorrow on fear, which is what my book is about. But what I found is, since I've written this book, there is like so much material, so much data on fear that I'm interacting with. So I'm finding an opportunity to like gain depth, you know, in the subject matter. And I'm liking what you're saying, because I can see that it will also give me an opportunity to become like a subject authority sort of, you know, on fear, where, you know, people will always like call me. I mean, I already get invites and stuff, but I just wanted to contribute and add to that and say, you know, I'm also on a journey and I'm already experiencing that. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks for that. And I just want to add on to what you are saying and to answer Guy, because I didn't complete answering that. Guy asked what platform works. So right now, it's silly to waste your time on platforms that are not well known, that doesn't have a good attraction. So the ones that work at the moment is Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and those are kind of the ones, Pinterest. Those are the ones that I would focus on. But the most powerful one for business is LinkedIn, and second to that now is the Facebook business page. And that's what one has to go. But it's not just to have a site. You must have a site that works for you. You must have a site that, in a sense, is selling your product and selling you without being too forward with it. And again, what Makapula was saying now is that don't go and sell on social media. Don't sell. Because that's one way of putting off people. So that's where articles are good, because your articles can have like a little bit of a sales pitch in, but you're showing your authority. So I hate it when I sign up with people on LinkedIn and the first thing they reply, thanks for joining, I'm so-and-so and this is what I do. Okay, I don't care what you do, and you don't respect me because you don't know me and you don't know what I do and you don't know if there's a need. And this is where Scott's program is so powerful, is that he will show you what to do with that. And it's a process. So again, things have changed. In the old days, we used to go in and just sell. Now you don't do that anymore. It's a whole process of how to build up your network and build relationships. And people will buy on relationships nowadays, not just because you've got the right product.
Stella, did I hear that you wanted to ask Trevor something?
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Trevor, Nell, and Trevor Ketler. Yeah, so I think you've answered my question. I just want to more specifically want some advice from you with regards to new business. If you are a new startup entrepreneur, how to market your business. But I think you have answered me in terms of writing articles to actually promote your brand and your personal brand first. Yeah. So is there anything else that you can advise on, specifically on new businesses, how to market yourself better? And also just another thing, Trevor, for me, my business is more like a personal service, the divorce mediation. So it's not a business selling to companies. So would you think that LinkedIn could work for me, or do you think I would rather focus on maybe Facebook or one of the other platforms? Thanks.
Yeah, I would do LinkedIn and Facebook and just focus on those two. How many links have you got on LinkedIn?
I think I've got just over 230.
230.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you're not on LinkedIn. Okay. You need to have a few thousand. I mean, right now, I think my last look, I've got about 12 and a half, maybe not hit 13,000 yet. But those are people sort of in my field, and those are people that could possibly do business with me. And what I do is that I often just put, what my website does it. So what my website is programmed to do, I've got a whole lot of articles, and we'll just take articles at random and send them to all these platforms. So I don't even know what's going out. If there's one out now, I don't know, and I don't know which one it is. But so often people come to me and say, I loved your article yesterday. I said, oh, that's nice. Which one was it? Okay, I don't know. And it doesn't matter, because they just see my name the whole time, and that's what's important. But to answer your question directly, okay, maybe I'm not getting divorced today, and maybe I'm very happily married today, but I keep reading your articles on perhaps how to prevent a divorce from taking place. Okay, what can I do to make sure that that doesn't happen? So let me start reading your articles, and if I do have a fight with my wife, okay, then yours is the first name that's going to come to my mind, and I'm going to contact you. So can you see how relationship works and the importance of articles? Now, what I want to just add as well is that, you know, when I mention to people, write a book, they say, oh, so you're mad, I don't know how to write a book. When I wrote my first book, I had no clue what I was doing. It's probably the worst book ever on this planet, but it did wonders for me. Would I do that book again? Absolutely not. And if I did, I would do it so, so differently. So that one was a terrible book, but it works. And in fact, that one was on time management, and I'm now perceived to be a time management expert. Okay, and it's not one of my topics. I hate that topic. So what one does is once you start writing articles, you take a collection of the articles, and when you've got around about 100 articles, there's your book. As simple as that. So write articles thinking with the book in mind that it all features as one big topic and one theme. I hope that answers you.
Yes, definitely. Thanks, Trevor.
Dawn, did I see your hand go up at some time? Did you want to ask a question? And I was thrown by the speed typing of one Guy Danes, who I see is now muted. His mic. Guy, did you also want to come on board? Dawn, yes, go for it.
Yeah, just a quick one. You know, as Trevor is speaking, and as we've gone through this process, just comes to mind, you know, being an entrepreneur, you have to have guts. Okay, you got to be able to jump in the deep end and know how to swim. Now with the virtual trade fair, at least I jumped in the deep end holding hands with other experts, which has been exciting, it's been exhilarating, and let me tell you what, I'm a bloody good swimmer. I'm used to the deep end, and I think that's what makes a successful entrepreneur. And with the people that I've been with on this journey, they're all the same. So we're not scared of the deep end. So I think, Trevor, that also gives you the kind of determination and kind of personality you have, that if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to get knocks on the head, yeah, and then you just, so what? That's a learning curve. But jumping in the deep end is something that you should be used to, and don't be afraid. Fear stops everybody from doing whatever they want to do. So Stella, I take my hat off to you, because you jumped in the deep end and look what's happening. Your business is now growing, and that's the only way to do it. If you talk yourself into being, oh, what if, maybe, whatever, you're never going to do it. So jumping in the deep end is the way to do it. And look where we are today with the virtual trade fair. So, and it is only going to grow. So that's my piece to both the Trevors.
Yeah, I believe if you haven't failed, you're not an entrepreneur. That's what we do.
Guy, go for it.
Thank you. Stella, 2 points. There's a gentleman up on my left-hand corner called Mark. Maybe part of your integrated communication strategy, that's quite a fancy word for a Friday afternoon. You need to look at the networking that Mark's doing and the various networking forums that he has, and see if they're applicable to you. And getting back to Trevor's point about being that authority, as we've chatted off-site, now is the time to be active in communicating your mindset and your thoughts relative to the topics in your business. So start being more active there, as Trevor said, and get a specialist behind you to actually, hopefully in these times, give you a few free hours and then charge you later to actually get the momentum running for you, and just try and complement those. But Mark in the left-hand corner, he sits there quietly in England. and he's had quite an impact on a number of people. And he has a different style, so whether one likes it or not, that's irrespective. So I wish you well. Keep your head up, and as Dawn said, forget the resilience and all that. It's the guts. It's your guts. Your guts. So keep going, Smiler. Keep going.
Thank you. Yeah, no, Mark has been phenomenal on a few of these WhatsApp groups, but it's busy, very busy, but I must make more use of it. So thanks, Mark, again.
Mark, if you're listening, come on board, because I'd perhaps like you to have a connection. Trevor Ketler, have you connected with Mark?
No, we haven't. In fact, I've just...
You haven't? Okay. Yeah, well, you better connect now, because you've only got a couple of minutes left in the discussion forum. But I can tell you, Mark, at the same time, he's listening to about 44 different networks all at the same time. So when you see him typing away there, he might be typing to others. Otherwise, Mark, come on board and introduce yourself to Trevor Ketler, and just explain how you can create an expert network in the UK with Trevor. So, are you with us, Mark? No, I think he's looking at other operations. But do connect with Mark, Trevor, and you'll be connected to all these different networks. You'll be blown away, because Stella's way ahead of you already. She's an expert networker across the world at the moment. So is Dawn. Dawn, if you wouldn't mind just dropping a network connection there for Trevor, so he can connect direct with Mark and shoot a message to him. So Trevor,
I'll send you the links, Trevor.
Thank you very much. Trevor, I think, thank you very much. I've got to check through my glasses how we're doing there. I think we've got about 10 minutes left. I just want to thank you very much for your input and your time and getting involved with us. And I also want to thank you for being the driver of the Midrand Community Chamber of Commerce. I remember you coming along to our Fourways community of Chamber of Commerce and having a look around and saying, no, I think I can do 1,000 times better than this, heading straight off and setting up your own version of the operation. But that's a lie. Perhaps Trevor, share for others. Yeah, share for others who don't know you. What's your experience been like? How long have you been at the Chamber, and what's your experience been like? And we'll shut down with that input from you.
Yeah, so I think I've been a member for 2 years, or going on 2 years, or just past 2 years. And I remember the first time I joined, my first meeting, it was such a vibe, so much activity, so much opportunity that I could see straight away, and I thought, this is my home. And I think I signed up that day, and I've been ever since, and hardly missed a session. And the amount of business that I've got, the amount of connections that I've made, it's been fantastic. And again, one of the things is learning how to use the chamber. And yeah, so unfortunately, Midrand was picking up quite nicely, but with lockdown now, it's sort of taken a bit of a backseat. But we're on Facebook, so join up, and I post a few articles there about networking and the business. So go in and join up. We're looking for people, we're looking for numbers. That's what it's about.
Great. Thank you very much, Trevor. And
thanks for listening.